YouTube, Niner Empire, 49ers, Falcons, week 7, Sunday night football at Levi's. It's going to be a very tough game. Falcons are a very tough team. They're coming off of the Monday night win last week versus the Buffalo Bills. Bijan Robinson's been playing out of his mind. Drake London and Michael Penix have this chemistry that has, been very successful throughout the season. Those guys are balling out. This is a very, very tough test for the Niners. Even though they're at home and they're getting George Kittle back, um, you know, I think before the season started looking at this game, this looked to be like one of the more, I guess, easier games on their schedule. Knowing how depleted the 49ers defense is, really their offense is depleted as well. This is going to be a tough game. We'll get into the injury report first for this game. Brock Purdy out, Ricky Pearsall out. Those guys are both expected to return next week. I was really hoping that Purdy would be back, as well as Pearsall, but those guys were officially ruled out for this game, week 7. I believe on Friday is when Kyle Shanahan ruled them out. They're just not, I guess, healthy enough yet. Obviously you don't want to rush Purdy back again. I don't think they rushed him back against Jacksonville, but I think, he clearly came back too early. He re-aggravated the injury, probably didn't recover as long as he should have. And then he goes into Jacksonville, struggles, has a pretty poor game, re-aggravates the toe, and it's knocked him out for the last 2 weeks now. So again, those Pearsall dealing with a knee injury, those two guys expected to be back week 8 versus Houston next week, but obviously not going to be active for this game. So Pearsall, Purdy, both out. Yatur Gross-Matos dealing with a neck injury. He's been ruled out. Upton Stout has got a shoulder injury. He's questionable. Renardo Green, neck, questionable. And then Kevin Givens dealing with the pec injury is also questionable. Obviously, the 49ers last week lost Fred Warner to the broken ankle. Just a gutting loss to their defense. His presence on the field is felt week in and week out. He's a problem. He's the best linebacker in all of football, first ballot Hall of Famer. When you lose a guy of his caliber, your defense is not going to be nearly as good as it was. It sucks. I mean, there's nothing else to it. That's, losing Bosa and Fred Warner within a month apart of each other is just gutting. It's unfair. It really is. Tatum Bethune, though, is the next guy up. He's the next man up. Second-year guy out of Florida State. He was the 49ers' 7th-round draft pick back in, I guess that would have been 2024 draft, just 2 years ago. So he is the next man up. He's going to start in place of Fred Warner. Niners got a lot of faith in this guy. He plays fast. I definitely think he's got a lot of potential, but he's going to have to step up and attempt to fill the shoes of Fred Warner. You can't fill the shoes of Fred Warner, but, I think him playing well and him kind of bursting out on the scene starting tonight would be a huge boost to the Niners defense. So Tatum Bethune will get the start alongside D. Winters tonight at linebacker. And yeah, man, this is going to be a very tough game. I think the 49ers are going to have to be, they're going to have to be cautious with the football. Mac Jones, I'm sure, is going to throw the football a lot tonight. Mac Jones isn't fully healthy. He's dealing with injuries to his knee. He also had an oblique injury, I believe. Mac Jones is banged up, though. I mean, he's gotten killed playing quarterback for this team while Purdy's been out. So he's as tough as they come, though. I mean, I think his toughness really showed a couple weeks ago when they played the Rams. Just him getting absolutely murdered out there. There's a clip of him puking on himself on the sideline and puking all over the field. But You know, he finished that game. He ultimately led the 49ers to win that game versus the Rams. But yeah, he's been a quality backup. In his four starts this season, he's thrown more than 320 yards in two of those games. So, um, those games were also in particular, big time type of dueling games against the Bucks and the Rams. Um, and I think if the 49ers want to have a chance, and I guess if they want to win this game, he's going to have to beat the Falcons in the air. Obviously, with having a guy like Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield, who's just a lethal receiving threat. He's got the clear connection with Kendrick Bourne. Kittle's back. George Kittle's back for this game. He practiced all week. That's a big boost for Mac Jones. I think I think it would be, easier for the 49ers to beat the Falcons through the air than it would be on the ground. The 49ers haven't been able to have a good running attack this year. The offensive line has struggled. McCaffrey's, I guess, in a way, struggled throughout the course of the year in the run game. They just haven't had the best run game this year. And I think a lot of that has to do with Kittle being out. I mean, he's the best run blocking tight end in the NFL. And I think the 49ers clearly have more success running the football when he's playing. So obviously getting him back should help the running game somewhat. But I think the 49ers are simply just going to have to beat the Falcons through the air. I think if Mac Jones struggles tonight through the air with his passes and, not being able to find the open receivers and things like that, I think it's going to be bad for the 49ers. So I think an aerial attack tonight is the way the 49ers win this football game. Again, you get Kittle back. You got a lethal receiving running back in McCaffrey, Kendrick Bourne, Demarcus Robinson. Marquez Valdes-Scantling was released with an injury that he suffered last week against the Bucks. The 49ers released him. Actually, they put him on injured reserve and then released him. So, yeah, I don't know, man. He had a calf injury, I guess. He popped up as a non-participant Thursday with the calf injury. Again, that injury was apparently bad enough to put him on IR. And yeah, so that not ideal. Obviously, the 49ers receiving room has taken a lot of hits this year. It's a depleted wide receiver room, but Kendrick Bourne, him having phenomenal games the last 2 weeks, I think will help the 49ers in this game big time. If Kendrick Bourne goes over 100 yards tonight, I believe I seen a stat that if he goes over 100 yards tonight, he'd be the first player in 49ers history since Jerry Rice to go for 100 yards in back-to-back games. So that would be pretty cool achievement for Kendrick Bourne. And I think if the 49ers are pass heavy tonight, there's a good chance that Kendrick Bourne's able to do that. So, yeah, I think, again, aerial attack, that's going to be number one key to win this game. Number two, and, this is easier said than done, but it's going to be to, in some way, shape, or form, limit Bijan Robinson. He's coming off of the best game of his season last week against the Bills. He rushed for 170 yards last week versus the Bills. He's one of the league's best running backs. He can find holes quickly. He sees all the way up the field to the third level before he's even given the ball. He's a kind of a one-of-one type of player, and the only way the 49ers can win this game is by somewhat limiting him and slowing him down. And again, that's going to be easier said than done. It's a lot easier it would be a lot easier for the Niners to have success stopping Bijan Robinson if Fred Warner played, but unfortunately that's not the case. And the 49ers are going to have their hands full with Bijan tonight, but Salah's going to have to get creative defensively. I think Shanahan's going to have to get creative offensively, and they're going to have to find a way to win this football game, depleted across the board, offensively and defensively with injuries. So, yeah, I think I think the two biggest keys to me in this game, you got to limit Bijan Robinson and you got to have success throwing the football. I think, again, the 49ers win this game by having a strong aerial attack. And it starts with Mac Jones. I think the third key here would just be to have red zone success. When you get down into the red zone, you got to score 7 points. I think the 49ers are going to have to start off hot. I think they're going to have to start fast. They really need to score on their opening possession. This game needs to start how it started just a couple weeks ago when they played the Rams on Thursday night. They went down 75 yards, put together a beautiful drive, started off hot against the Rams. The defense fed off of that. And, I think the 49ers ultimately, going down the field and scoring on that first drive, it just gave them motivation and a boost of confidence throughout the remainder of that game. So I think this game's going to have to start similar to that Rams game. You got to start fast, take care of the football, slow down, limit, however you want to say it, slow down Bijan Robinson, win this game through the air and have success in the red zone. I think those are the three biggest keys to win this game. I mean, you can argue that having red zone success in every week is a key to win the game. But I think particularly for tonight, this Falcons team is very good. They've got a good defense. Their secondary's good. And their offense is just as good. And their offense has had a lot of success, honing in on, Drake London and Bijan Robinson as their top two playmakers. 49ers will have their hands full tonight. But I think this is a very winnable game. You're at home, Sunday Night Football. This would be a massive win going into Week 8 because you go into Week 8 and you're more than likely getting Brock Purdy back. You're more than likely getting Ricky Pearsall back. And, it's only going to be a matter of time, I think, until Brandon Ayuk returns. I think he has been John Lynch has said that he's been progressing well. I don't think they have I don't think they necessarily have a timetable on his return, but I think getting Ayuk back in the coming weeks will be huge. And from here on out, just being able to stay healthy is going to be the biggest thing for the 49ers. So we will see what happens in this game. Again, it's going to be a battle till the end. This is going to be a very fun game to watch. Plenty of playmakers on both ends. Kittle's back. Tatum Bethune's going to make his debut. Nick Martin's also going to be called up as well. He's going to dress for this game. I believe he's going to get some action on special teams. But obviously with Fred Warner going down, they had to call him up and they're going to have to start dressing him for games. So Nick Martin should be able to get his first real regular season live game action tonight. And I'm excited to see what Tatum Bethune can do with D Winters. D Winters has had a phenomenal season. I don't think Tatum Bethune's anywhere near Fred Warner, but who really is in the NFL? The 49ers could have anybody in the NFL try to replace Fred Warner, and it wouldn't be the same. You just can't. He's one of one. You can't fill a guy like Fred Warner's shoes, but Tatum Bethune, I've got faith in him. He had a very great career at Florida State. He's clearly the type of linebacker that the 49ers like and that you would want on a type of defense like this one. So he's got a lot of good traits. He's just got to, put it on the field. Predictions, I'm taking the Niners, man. I'm going to take the Niners in a close one. I'm going to say 23-20 49ers win. I think it's a very close game, but I think the 49ers in the end make one or two more plays than Atlanta does, and I think that puts the 49ers in the win column tonight. So we'll see what happens. I'll be back on here, obviously, later tonight with the post-game video, but it's going to be a tough game. I'm pumped, though. This is going to be a very fun game to watch. It could even be more high-scoring than 43 total points like I'm predicting, but no matter what, I think the 49ers pull it out in a close one. I think Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh are going to be prepared to call a creative game on offense and defense, and I think that's ultimately what's going to give the 49ers to win tonight. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Give me your thoughts, predictions. As always, go Niners. I will see you guys later on tonight for the post-game recap.